Celius.
Yeah.
Great. You said that's the best one?
I like that one and the orange one.
All right. Shout out to A1 Don. I'd like to welcome y'all to the LK Sport Podcast 54. No, 53. Damn shame. We're doing so many. This is number 53. I'm pretty sure now. We're doing the AFC North. Previous pod, we already did AFC South, NFC South, and NFC North already. 50, 51, and 52. On these episodes, we're breaking down free agency, fantasy, strength of schedule, PFF rankings, draft picks. Am I missing anything, guys?
I think that's
sounds about right.
Sounds right.
We're getting a lot of information as fast as we can in less than 45 minutes, man. I hope y'all really enjoy the time.
Like Domino's, 45 minutes or less.
Yeah, 45 minutes or less. Like I said, we're giving out a lot of information here. You already know I got Dro to my right. Old face, familiar face, new times or something I can say. I should have thought of something slick to say, but I got G to my left. But yeah, we put a lot of time into this. I hope y'all enjoyed it and listen and have some good fun with it. AFC North. Let's get started. Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, the Browns, coached by Kevin Stefanski, coming back for his second season. The Browns were 7-10 last year. They were 13th in total offense. They were 18th in points scored at 21.2. They were 22nd in passing and 6th in rushing. On the defensive side of the ball, they were 18th in total D, 20th in points at 22.4, 28th versus the pass, 9th versus the rush. They were 27th in sacks and had a -1 turnover differential last year.
Yeah, middle of the pack, basically.
On everything.
They were 7-10 last year. They got an over-under of 9.5. They didn't have a round 1, round 2 pick this year. They sent them in a trade to Houston when they got Deshaun Watson. They got the second-ranked offensive line this year, which is major, to keep Deshaun up, and we all expect Deshaun to do better this year, which we'll get into in a few seconds. They got the 16th strength of schedule. Middle of the pack, not the worst, not the best. Not a big deal. They went and got they signed Marquise Goodwin, Elijah Moore via trade from the New York Jets, which I think he's going to do well for them this year in that slot position. He didn't get a lot of love in New York from Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson compared to Deshaun Watson, I think is a major improvement. We all know. They stepped up their offensive line. Like I said, they re-signed some of the guys there, and they went and got Gotsit. And they went and got a backup tight end for Jokic and Hunter Bryant, those guys. They went and got Atkins, which is a familiar face for Deshaun Watson. He was with him in Houston. And on defense, they did a lot. They went and got Tomlinson, Walker, Mike Ford, McLeod, Thornhill, Zadarius Smith, and via trade from Minnesota. So they went and boosted that defense to help Myles Garrett and those guys get some pressure on some defense, hold some guys under some points, and they're going to go on offense with Deshaun Watson, Chubb, Mari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Joku. Saying it out loud, it sounds amazing. Just hope these guys perform. You already know the question mark, I believe, is Watson. Watson perform. We know what we're going to get. We're going to get some W's. You know what Nick Chubb brings to the table. Mari Cooper, he has a track record. You know what he can do on the field. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he did well for him last year. Elijah Moore is another question mark. He's getting a lot of hype in camp right now. They say he's doing very well, phenomenal route and running. He's another one of Ohio State wide receiver guys, so you already know about the tree. They always do well coming out of Ohio State. They hardly ever bring slouch at wide receiver position. So, Cleveland Brown, what you think about him, Drew?
I like them this year. I think they're going to do good. I think you said, what was their over-under, 9.5?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'll take the over on them. You know, with Deshaun Watson coming back, obviously he came back rusty last year. No surprise to nobody. He was out of football for, 2 years almost?
Yeah.
So
almost.
I think adding Elijah Moore is going to be really good. He didn't want to be with New York. Obviously, he was frustrated with not getting no playing time and all that. But with Amari Cooper, with Nick Chubb, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Joku, I mean, that offense is solid. And like you said, their defense, they boosted it up. So I can only see this team doing better than they did last year.
Correction. Elijah Moore went to Ole Miss. I'm sorry, I said Ohio State. He went to Ole Miss. But fantasy football-wise, I'm going to give out some names here. Nick Chubb, Cooper, Joku, Deshaun Watson, Elijah Moore. I would not be upset, depending on ADP or draft where I get them. I wouldn't be disappointed with any of those guys on my football team, well, my fantasy football team, I should say.
You got the 8th pick. You taking Chubb?
If he's there, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great pick. I mean, I love Nick Chubb. Man.
You got Tyreek Hill. A lot of these guys will be here. Chubb, Tyreek Hill, maybe Bijan will be there. Who knows who'll be there at 8th pick. It's one of those.
So Bijan or Chubb?
Bijan for catching. Bijan's going to get some passing work. So
yeah, I think the loss of Kareem Hunt is going to only boost Nick Chubb way more.
I think Jerome Ford is not Kareem Hunt, but Jerome Ford is pretty good.
Yeah, and Chubb doesn't catch the ball a lot. I mean, that's.
Maybe they've been talking.
Yeah,
about,
maybe now he catches the ball more.
Yeah, they've been talking about working him more into the
I'm
passing.
taking Nick, no doubt.
Yeah,
but
they're saying
you got to think. But when you think fantasy, we're going into another pod, but we can speak about it real quick. You got to think workload. If the defense is bad, how often the offense, who are the other targets that can take touchdowns away? And if you look on Cleveland side, the only guys that possibly can take touchdowns away is Amari, Joku in the red zone.
I mean, even Deshaun Watson, he's a big boy. Deshaun Watson can take away some.
Deshaun, I mean, you can run some RPO with those guys with Watson. I mean, we haven't seen him run in 2 years, but I'm pretty sure he's
just a QB sneak. You know what I mean?
So, and then I don't see Desmond Ridder running for touchdowns at all. So, I mean, I don't know. That's a hard one. That's a good one. But go ahead.
No. I mean, I don't disagree. I think they're going to be good. I think this is a much improved team. I mean, if they get anything, if the defense is at all better, this should be. They should. This is. We are talking back into the AFC North of this is we did it in the last pod. We talked about ranking the divisions. This one is right near the top. This is, right. I mean, this is a competitive, like you may, some of these teams, as we get to them, some of these teams improved and may actually technically be worse than they were last year just because the schedule. This division is a really 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 tough division of football. This is arguably the best division in football, top to bottom for sure.
I'm gonna go through that defense that you spoke about, and these names to me says very great, a good defense. Myles Garrett, Dalvin Thompson, Zadarius Smith, Anthony Walker, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Thornhill, and Greg Newsome II. That sounds amazing.
No, on paper, I mean, but again, sometimes we said sometimes the free agent thing, we've seen it not work in the NFL before because guys playing together doesn't always work. But on paper, I mean, we know Myles Garrett is a beast. He's going to be contender for Defensive Player of the Year every year and whatnot. But yeah, no, again, I like the over on them too. I'm projecting them to be in the playoffs this year. So
yeah, I took over on that 9.5 as well. So.
Cleveland fans, you got something to look forward to.
Maybe. But again, it is Cleveland, so I mean that's the whole thing too. Like
if they I honestly think if they can put it together, depending on matchups, come January, February, and things, they have a chance to really get it done. I mean, if Deshaun Watson is anything that we've seen, and know that he's capable of, they can go to the Super Bowl this year. They can beat the Bengals. They can beat Kansas City on any given weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll go that, but again, if they were in the NFC, I might feel a little bit differently.
So let me ask y'all a quick question because I feel some type of way about how y'all just said that. What makes you feel like Cincinnati and Kansas City just that much better than any other team in the NFL?
Joe Burrow and
Patrick Mahomes, Jamar Chase.
Okay,
I mean, really, for me, it's the two guys essentially. Because to me, those two guys are on just another level.
But Deshaun Watson was that guy.
He was never at the Patrick Mahomes level. He was never at Patrick.
Deshaun Watson was that guy.
He's never won a playoff game.
He was in Texas.
He was in the playoffs though.
But he was with the Texans though. Like it's not. You can't argue this.
He's a Cowboys fan.
So you can't compare this team with a Texans team, bro. Come on.
No, but they were. I mean, he had DeAndre Hopkins there. They weren't as good as this team. But
they didn't have a Nick Chubb.
So you're telling me
Hopkins not Cooper, and we can.
So you're telling me he was in Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, nobody's Patrick.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
We're not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes.
Or even, I mean, even
He
Joe
was good
Burrow.
enough to get it done. Like,
he was that
he's
guy,
a very
bro.
above average quarterback, healthy. And
I'm not saying he's not above, but I'm still not putting him at the Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes level. That's all, even at his best.
If you
he's very good, very good.
Let me ask you this: you switch these quarterbacks on each team, you still wouldn't give him a chance? You put Deshaun on Kansas City right now. Would you give him a chance to go to the Super Bowl?
No.
So if you put Patrick Mahomes on Cleveland, they'll go to the Super Bowl.
They'd have a chance.
So you put Deshaun on the Bengals, they'll go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's a little. I think the Bengals have a better roster, top to bottom, than the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, so that's the difference. The Bengals have a lot of. We'll get to the Bengals have a great roster, but I still think Joe Burrow is a much better quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
I think
Watson's got to show me again. He's got to show it to us again.
I think we got to see it, like you said. But
come on, sexual chocolate, send it. Show it to us. Show it to us.
I think, but I'm more on this side. When it comes to that cold weather, and like I said, any given Sunday to me, I think
for sure. But
on paper, as this defense looks, I think it's better than the Kansas City defense. If I look on paper and I look at this team, besides Cincinnati, which we're gonna get to, on paper, I like this defense better than Cincinnati. I like Henderson. I like some of those guys, Zube, and we'll get to them in a minute.
No, again, would it be crazy? I just mean if you're gonna be Cleveland, you're probably gonna have to go in and you're gonna have to win in Buffalo, then win in Kansas City, or then win in Cincinnati, and that's a tough road. It's a tough road. That's all they said. Like I said, if they were in the NFC, completely different story. And I like Deshaun Watson a lot. I do.
All right, we're gonna move over to Pittsburgh Steelers. They was third in the division last year. Go ahead.
Yeah, they finished 9-8 and missed the playoffs as well. On offense, they were 23rd in total yards, 26th in points at 18.1, 24th in passing, 16th in rushing. They did have the 14th best total D in the league. They were 10th in points at 20, giving up 20.4. 20th versus the pass, 9th versus the rush, 16th in sacks, and had a pretty good +4 turnover differential. So
Pittsburgh Steelers is underrated team this year for me. They got an over under 8.5. They went and boosted that offensive line with Broderick Jones from Georgia. Go Dogs. Joey Porter Jr. They went and got the son of a famous player there, and Joey Porter Jr. at cornerback. They went and got Keontae Brenton, and they went in the fourth and got Darnell Washington. You already know why I'm saying his name again. Go Dogs. So, and when they got Miles Boykin, guess where he's from? Go Dogs. Allen Robinson via trade. I think he's going to take that Clay Booth spot. We're going to see what we all trying to see what Allen Robinson got left in the tank here. Zach Gentry, they re-signed him. They went in and boosted that line again. They got some line help. They re-signed Isaac and the guys on the defensive side of the ball. They went and got Pat P. Who knows what he got left in the tank on the 2-year deal. You went and got Kazi, Neal, Sullivan, and James Pierre. All these are secondary guys, which they, from the numbers, didn't do very well in that secondary. So, I mean, they doing what they got to do to win games. I think their defense is going to be the key for them this year, besides Kenny Pickett, which is obviously the biggest question mark. They also went and got Larry. I'm going to butcher his name again. Ogunjubobi. Yeah, I said it right. Ogunjubobi. Something like that. Sounds good, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
And Cole Holcomb from Washington. He averaged over 100 solo tackles 2 years. He been in the league 4 years. He was their middle linebacker over there in Washington, which I don't know why Washington didn't bring him back, but in 2 years he had over 100 and something solo tackles there, and that's going to be a major boost for that Steelers defense.
Might have just because somebody had to make the tackles, but no, he's a solid player.
Hey, you're not lying. Somebody got to make the tackles, but they got the 12th ranked offensive line, which is good for Kenny Pickett, and they got the 8th easiest schedule, strength of schedule. I'm going to go through this depth chart right fast. Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris. I'm going to throw Jalen Warren in there as well because I think he's going to get some work in that backfield. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Allen Robinson, Pat Freiermuth. On that defense, and I'm going to give you these names real quick. Ogunjobi, Benton, Cameron Hayward, T.J. Watt, Cole Holcomb, Elandon Roberts, Alex Highsmith got paid. Very good guy. Very high sack guy. Very high motor. Patrick Peterson, Kazi, Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter Jr., on paper, this defense sounds effing amazing.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter back there with T.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward.
Patrick Peterson is surely in decline, but
of course. But still, I mean, that's a good piece, though. I mean,
no, I like what this team did, but I think this is what I was talking about before. I think this is one of the teams that's improved greatly, but I think they're going to be record-wise. They may play better football than they did last year, but I think record-wise, they got
a pretty easy schedule, man. I mean, they
got to play everybody. They got to play everybody in this division, though. I mean, that's
but look, they play first 2 games is tough. 49ers, Browns. Then you got the Raiders, then the Texans. That's easy games.
I mean, I think Texans are improved this year, but I get what you're saying.
So you think they got a chance? Texans?
I think the Texans will have a shot in that game. They probably won't, but I think they're a better football team this year.
I mean, that's not much saying that coming out.
If they get, we talked about in the South preview, if they get anything from the quarterback position, I could see them. They've been winning they won 3 games last year or 2. I can see them winning 6 or 7 games this year if they get anything from the quarterback position.
Fantasy football wise, I got Deontay Johnson, Najee / Jalen, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth. I have question marks.
Don't even say it.
What?
Don't say his name.
Pittsburgh defense.
No, don't say A-Rob. We're done.
Oh, no,
I told you guys last year A-Rob was done.
You did. You called it. Called his shot.
Okay, on this offense.
I thought you were going to say A-Rob.
Which is a Pat Freiermuth, I think is the automatic lock. But now I'm going to go through it. Najee, DeJounte, George Pickens. If you had a choice, I mean, your roster just say you can pick one of them guys just to throw on your roster. Which one would you rather have?
Deontay.
Just the receivers, you're saying, or all the guys?
All 3 of them. So if you just hypothetically, if you had a choice between Najee, DeJounte, George Pickens, just to throw them on your fantasy football lineup, which one would you rather?
I think I'm gonna take Najee because I think he's where his ADP this year. I think he's slipped a little bit, and I like him to be a little bit better this year.
I don't want even talking like ADP, just period. Just
I'm gonna take Najee. I'm gonna take Najee. The receivers. I like Pickens. I like Deion. I like both those receivers talent wise, but again, how much is this?
I like Deontay because of the target.
How much are they going to throw the ball though? That's the thing that scares me with any receivers on the Steeler teams, other than Freiermuth.
You're just saying Najee because you're wearing number 22, but it's okay.
There's nothing to do with that.
I think Jalen Warren's going to get that 3rd down run there in Pittsburgh. I think he's good. I think he did well for him last year, and me personally, out of the question I just asked you, I would love Deontay Johnson. If he would just got in the end zone 2 or 3 times, his ADP would have shot up. He just never got in the end zone. He had a very high target rate. He had a pretty good reception. He just never got in the end zone.
Yeah, 147 targets, but only 86 catches. So only a 58% percentage, which is not high at all.
He didn't score a touchdown, right?
Not
one touchdown last year.
So if he got in the end zone, that would have went up for him. But 8.5 over on.
I mean, sorry, Chris. I'm going under. Like, I like the squad, but I'm going under. I'm going under. Somebody's got to bring up the rear in this division, and I think it's them.
I mean, I got the over. Mike Tomlin's a hell of a coach.
He's
the best.
He's never finished below 500.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of the best.
I think this year
he might be the best coach behind Andy Reid in the NFL right now. I like him.
You forgot somebody. I can't believe it. Yeah, there's the face. You've got
Bill Belichick, but still, come on, bro.
Boy,
you must be out your goddamn mind.
Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, and Mike Tomlin, top 3 coaches in the NFL.
It's definitely after Andy Reid and Bill Belichick, not in any particular order.
Right.
Tomlin's he's definitely in the conversation for the next guy. Him,
depending on what
Harbaugh.
Denver do, you got to put Peyton in there.
Well, that's the whole. That's the thing I'm saying.
Y'all got a beef with Sean, right?
No, we don't have a beef. We have a beef.
It's the truth.
Somebody, we might as well break. Somebody. I think last year it was Bart Scott. Compare because they're like he doesn't understand. And he said maybe Peyton. He didn't play for either guy. He says why does Peyton get all this when they're comparing him to McCarthy? Because he's like they both coach 2 of the all-time great quarterbacks for years. And both only went to 1 Super Bowl and only won 1 Super Bowl. But for some reason, they, and even McCarthy got to a couple championship games. Peyton got to 1 besides the time they went to the Super Bowl. And all he's saying is maybe Peyton is the better coach, but like, why does Peyton get the pass for not doing more? And for some reason, McCarthy gets all this like hate from when he was in Packers, when they're essentially their win-loss is about the same. They both had all-time great quarterbacks. That's all, but maybe Peyton is the better coach. I mean, it's hard to say for sure.
I think he got a great offensive mind, Sean.
I mean, he pays the most for injuries and shit, so.
Yikes. Let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens. They were 10-7 last year. Give it to us, G.
We want to do the Ravens next. So they were 10-7 last year. Coach John Harbaugh has been there forever. One of the best coaches in that conversation for number 3.
Oh yeah.
And they lost in the wild card round to Cincinnati. They were 16th in total offense last year. Only 19th in points at 20.6. They were 28th in passing, 2nd in rushing. They did have the 10th best total defense. They were third in points against at 18.5. 26th in pass, 3rd in rushing, 6th in sacks, and had a +4 turnover differential.
The Baltimore Ravens, obviously, Lamar Jackson, 5-year, $260 million deal this offseason, locking them up, their future there at quarterback. They got over under a 9.5. They went and got Odell Beckham on a 1 year up to $18 million deal. You went and got Aguilar, trying to boost up that wide receiver core. You drafted Zay Flowers. You already had Bateman there. Duvernay still there. They didn't do much on the defensive end. They went and got Mullins, Yaxin, and Stone. Yaxin probably going to take Marcus Peterson position on that cornerback, that nickelback position. They have the 4th-ranked offensive line, which is amazing for Lamar Jackson. I mean, you can't ask for much more. Top 5 offensive line by PFF ranking. One thing they do have is a 21st strength of schedule. Being in this division, I mean, it's going to be hard for you. I'm pretty sure that hikes that strength of schedule number up pretty far. But you got Browns, Bengals, and Steelers in your division. So, Zay Flowers was their number 1 pick. They didn't have a 2nd-round pick. They went and get an inside linebacker in Trenton Simpson. I think his name, Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. They went and got another linebacker out of the SEC, and Tavius Robinson out of Ole Miss. We all know that they love defensive guys out there in Raven. They locked up Roquan Smith during the season. So, they still got Marlon Humphreys there that, they're going to play defense, run some RPO with J.K. Dobbins and Lamar Jackson, throw it to Mark Andrews, which we already know he's going to be a high pick. And I'm going to run through this depth chart real fast. Lamar Jackson, Dobbins, Gus Edwards. They went and got Melvin Gordon on a 1-year deal for some, for some security back there. Rashad Bateman, Duvernay, Odell Beckham Jr., Zay Flowers, Aguilar, Andrews. Defensive side of the ball, still got Roger Wilson, Michael Pierce. You got Roquan Smith, Queen there, Patrick Queen, Yaxin, Hamilton, Kyle Hamilton they drafted last year, Marcus Williams, which did very well for them last year, and Marlon Humphreys. And you got the best kicker in the league, and Justin Tucker, which you got.
Is it the one team we can mention the kicker?
Yeah, you got it. I like the kicker on the next team as well. He's very good too, Evan McPherson in Cincinnati. But how you feel about this wide receiver core, Drew?
I like it. I like the addition of Zay Flowers. They just drafted him from Boston College, so I like him. I think he has potential. Odell Beckham, when he was healthy in L.A., he did good, so we'll see what he brings to the table. Hopefully he stays healthy. Rashad Bateman, he's another good wide receiver. I believe he was hurt last year for most of the season, so he comes back healthy. J.K. Dobbins is a stud if he can stay healthy, hopefully. So, I mean, I think they're going to – and you said, what, their line is ranked 2nd, 3rd?
4th. They got the 4th ranked offensive line.
That's awesome for Lamar. He's going to have time to maybe sit in the pocket for another 2nd or 2 more.
You can throw for 5,000 yards, like he said?
4,000. I give him 4,000.
No, but he said 5,000, but I know.
Dak Prescott said he's not going to throw 10 interceptions. We know how that's going. But anyways, I think that's going to be a good, powerful offense. I'm excited to see them. I want to see. I'm really hyped up on Zay Flowers for some reason. I just think he's going to have a really good season.
If he can get the look. I mean, there's a lot more balls to go around there,
right,
with Mark Andrews. I love the Ravens. I love what they did. I like Pittsburgh, though. I think they're a team that might just be, they could be better this year, but be worse. Although I think they were 10-7 last year, and I think I have them going 10-7 again this year. What's their over under?
9.5.
9.5. Yeah, so I guess I would take the just the over, but I love the coach. I love this team, and just see what happens in this division. Like I said, I just think I like the Browns to jump them this year. So,
if this wide receiver core improves the way on paper that we think,
and Bateman, Bateman is just, I don't know. I'm not sold on Bateman yet.
I had him last year.
The guy's played 5
games.
games.
2-3 weeks he did amazing. Then he got injured, and that was it. So, I mean, but if this this wide receiver core improves and play well, how bad does this affect Mark Andrews?
It hurts. It will hurt, especially. I mean, again, if you want to believe they're going to just, which I don't want to believe, this team's going to go out there and start throwing the ball 30 times a game, then there's enough balls to go around. But they still have a good running back. They have a good offensive line. Lamar can run. I just can't imagine this team's going to like all of a sudden just be like lighting it up like that. But maybe they will. Maybe they will. It's a tough on the fantasy aspect. I don't know if I mean, I would still take Mark Andrews, but I don't know how much I love any of these receivers fantasy wise. Just because I don't know if there's enough balls to go around.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have Mark Andrews, but something scares me. If Odell is turning back the hands of time, you got Bateman stretching the floor, and then, as you said, not the floor, but the field. And then you got Zay Flowers scooting, doing his Edelman-ish impression, West walk. Yeah, West, you know what I'm saying? Scatting, getting a little short passes, screens, and slants cross and crosses and things. I mean, that ball got to get thrown around. It's not all going to Mark Andrews. And the positive thing about having Mark Andrews is getting 10-plus targets a game. Say if he catches 7 and a touchdown, that's superb at the any position, honestly, but especially at the tight end position. So it's just like Mark Andrews is the number 2 ranked tight end, obviously behind Kelsey. And it just kind of scares me to be the number 2 ranked. That possibly Lamar's fully healthy again. He can take away touchdown by running. J.K. Dobbins healthy again, so he says. And then, like I said, with Odell Beckham out there, he's got an incentive plush contract. Right. So I'm pretty sure they got touchdowns somewhere in it, catches somewhere in it. So
and Andrews is scary, especially because where he's being drafted. I don't know if I would. He would make me nervous as high as good. I mean, obviously a great player, but he's a little bit high. And the Ravens back on the football end of this, the Ravens again, I think they're a tough team. Like I said, in this division, they're a team because of the coach too and the changes they made. Like they have I think their floor is, like I said, being around 10, 7, 9, and 8, just missing the playoffs. But their ceiling is winning the AFC. This is a team with that defense, and if things go right with Lamar and they take the next step in these receivers, they could win the AFC. It's funny, even though I have the Browns ahead of them in the division, I would more likely see the Ravens winning the AFC, as crazy as that sounds.
I think any team, sorry Steelers, any team in this division end up going to the Super Bowl out of this division. If they, whatever the strongest soldier out of this division has a real good chance to go win.
Minus the Steelers, you said, though?
Yeah. I don't think the Steelers, Kenny Pickett not ready for that action yet. I think so, but any other.
Sorry, Chris.
I know, right? Any other guys, I think they kind of battle tested some, and especially Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson been in the league for so long, and we already know, like I said, we spoke of the talent of Deshaun Watson and see if he still got it. I think they still can. When it comes to that playoff, you need that guy. Know somebody that know what they're doing.
Quick question, sorry to interrupt, but we know the track history of Lamar getting hurt towards the end of the seasons, usually, whatever. Do you think now that he's paid, do you think he'll come back from injury quicker? Because some of the times I'll be I just don't think he's wants to risk it because he doesn't have a contract.
$260 million change in your life.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to ever question a guy's toughness like this. But I mean, I'm sure there's probably
he's tough as nails. So that's why I'm saying I feel like he could have come back from some of the injuries sooner, but he just didn't want to because he
last year, maybe last year especially, maybe the year before not so much, but last year maybe
because he was playing for a contract. They didn't want to give him a contract. So now that he's paid full. Maybe he has
I'm interested. I'm excited to see the Baltimore Ravens this year. I'm excited for this whole division. Like to the previous part on the NFC North, I'm excited about that division. I think every team is right there together. The division game is going to be very good. Just like this one, every time they play each other, I'm going to watch it. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to figure out a way to get it on prime time every week. But each matchup in this division is going to be excellent. Trust me. So, speaking of the last team, Cincinnati Bengals, let's get it, G-Money.
Who they?
Yeah, they're coached by Zach Taylor.
Sorry. Over on the 9.5.
Over.
Baltimore. Over.
And I said over as well. Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Cincinnati.
The Bengals are coached by Zach Taylor. They were 12-4 last year because they had that game suspended against Buffalo, so they didn't finish that, and they lost in the AFC Championship game to Kansas City. Last year they were 15th in total offense, 7th in points at 26.1, 7th in passing, 29th in rushing. Some of those are a little bit lower because of they played one less game than everybody. They were 7th in defense, 6th in points against at 20.1, 16th versus the pass, 5th versus the rush, 29th in sacks, but had one of the better +6 turnover differentials.
Cincinnati Bengals, we already know what we getting with those guys. They 12-4 last year, as G said, and got over under 11.5. And when they got Drew Sample, they re-signed him. Irv Smith Jr. is their new starting tight end. He was in Minnesota. Very athletic guy. He got the talent, but he just hasn't proved it yet. We're just one of those guys who went on the breakout.
Injuries too, though. He's very injury prone. So
true. They went and locked up Orlando Brown on that offensive line. They went and got Cody Ford and Max on that offensive line on the defensive side. They re-signed Pratt on a 3-year deal. Pretty much all they did. They got Joe Mixon to take a little less money to shore up that backfield. They drafted Miles Murphy from Clemson, which is a very good tight end to put him across from Henderson. Then when they got DJ Turner, cornerback from Michigan, I believe. Yeah, Michigan. And then when they got Jordan Battle in the third, safety out of Alabama, hard-hitting guy, come in the box and rattle some chin straps. So they got the 17th ranked offensive line, which has been improving year by year there, trying to protect Joey Burrow because you already know what we got in that guy. They got the 20th strength schedule. Back to what I was saying with Baltimore, this division's tough. So that's going to boost that strength of schedule up pretty high. End of the day, I think as we go through this depth chart, I'm pretty sure I really probably don't have to look at it. You got Joe Mixon there, Joey Burrow, Chase, Higgins. Who's that third guy? He's
Boyd.
Yeah, he's on the tip of my tongue. Then you got Irv Smith starting at tight end there. Defense, you got Sam Hubbard, Miles Murphy, DJ Reader, BJ Hill, Hitcherson, Pratt, Woozy at the corner. You got Taylor Britt, who did well. Dax Hill from another Michigan guy they drafted last year. And Nick Scott, they signed in the offseason to play that strong safety. If you haven't noticed anything, every defense in this division has some players. But that's like I said, this team is going to be good. I mean, you got –
Yeah, they lost their safeties, but they
I like Dax Hill.
Yeah.
I think and one of them went to Atlanta. I can't think where the other one went. But and Evan McPherson, I think he's the second best kicker in the league. He's very good. And these guys can win you football games. But all in all, you know what you're getting here. You're getting Joe
addition by subtraction, losing Eli Apple.
Yeah, true. Very true. So you know what you're getting here. Joey Burrow, Chase, Higgins. They coming at you. Joe Mixon, he still got something left in the tank. Like I said, he wanted to stay here. I got a biggest question mark is on Joe Mixon's health. I mean, end of the day, you did draft Chase Brown, the kid from I think it's Illinois. Yep. He played very well for them last year in Illinois last year. And I think if Joe Mixon get here, I think Chase Brown can just go ahead and get right in the position and do very well for them, as we had discussed about this old running back getting paid, and it just a carousel, one in, one out type of situation, unless you one of those top guys. But I like them, bro. I mean, I like all these teams, like I said, except Steelers to make it there. All these teams can play well. They got players at every fucking position, every role, offense and defense. So what you think about the Bengals, Chief?
I love that team. I think they're the winners of that division once again. They bolstered up their line even more, so they're going to give Joe Burrow the time. Jamar Chase, arguably, they have the strongest wide receiver crew in the NFL.
It's the best.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. I mean, and the addition of Irv Smith, which is super athletic tight end. I think that I just don't see this team not winning the division.
Yeah, can't disagree. They're the class. They're the class of this division. As good as this division is, this is until somebody knocks them off. They're the top dogs.
It's their division to lose.
It's their division to lose. They're top dogs. As good as these other teams are, they're And they have Joe Burrow, and the other teams don't too in this division. So
Joe
that's
Cool, baby. He's the best. I mean,
Burrowhead.
I love Burrow.
It's not Burrowhead anymore. Too.
I just love.
No, he's
Joe
great.
Burrow.
He's got that little bit of he's got that swagger, but it's not like he's not obnoxious about it, but just enough just to makes you love it.
He's just confident. It's just his confidence.
Yeah.
Like he just walks around like he knows he's that guy, and like he knows what's up. Like
Can't argue that by far.
And he's got good weapons, and he's got he's got to go along with him. You all right? You all right?
We definitely can't argue. He got weapons. My God,
yeah,
he's loaded. His firearm case is very loaded. But fantasy football wise, you already know Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I got a question mark on Irv Smith Jr. Would you put him on your team?
I mean, I would just because it's the tight end position. Because I mean,
you got to need some shots.
You got Kelsey and Andrews, and then you just
hope you hit with somebody else.
Then you got the whole league. So I mean, that's a guy I would take a chance on, maybe like in the 15th round if I don't have a tight end yet. So,
but it's weird because they don't. It's again, sometimes it's weird some of the way, and it might just be because they have the receivers there.
Right.
He hasn't thrown a lot to the tight ends in his early in his career, so that's. But maybe having. I mean, he had Hayden Hurst there, and he didn't even use him a ton. So maybe having a guy like Irv Smith, if he's certainly maybe that's a guy he'll lean on a little bit, try to get some other because he's probably not gonna, in 2 years it might be just Irv Smith and Chase, because they're gonna they can't pay everybody there. So
and also Joe Mixon. How confident would you be if Joe Mixon was your number 2 running back?
I like him.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I'd be happy with the number 2.
Okay.
I like Mixon. I'd like him to have another. I like him to have a little bit of a bounce. He had a little bit of a down year last year, but
they got rid of Samaje Perine too, so that gives them even more of an opportunity to get all of the workload. So
is Tyler Boyd the best handcuff wide receiver in the entire football?
T. Higgins.
Football? I said, Higgins gonna get targeted. I'm talking Tyler Boyd, like.
Yeah, I mean, because Tyler Boyd he's a guy too that you can if you need injuries or start bye weeks, he's a guy you can roll out there in the flex. So
right.
yeah, and then if Higgins or something happens to Higgins or Chase, then he's
definitely
super startable, especially the way they like to throw the ball. So
over under 11.5.
I have him over. I have him winning like 13, 14 games this year, so I'm going to go over.
Over.
I got him
at a big number.
I got him at 11 under.
Under.
And I got him winning the division, though. I got this division beating up everybody else and beating up on each other. I got, by my stats thing that I did, playoff predictor, I got Bengals 11-6, Baltimore 11-6. I'm missing a game in this Pittsburgh. I got them 10-6 right now, so they missing the game somewhere. I got to figure it out. And then I got Cleveland at 10-7. So, all this can change. Like I said, once we do the final prediction, as I go back through
it's fluid. It's fluid.
Yeah, that's the word I want to use. So, I've hands down, I think top to bottom, this is the best division in football. Everybody's healthy. Lamar's healthy. Deshaun got a year off season. Joe Burrow, you already know what we're getting. And who I left out there, Steelers, I think they got one of the best defenses in the league with T.J. Watt, which is another defensive player of the year candidate when healthy. He
just a candidate, though.
When he's always been at the top, he always get injured. And
he missed a lot of time last year.
So I put Myles Garrett there, which is in the division as well. You got T.J. Watt. You got Micah Parsons.
Yeah, we know who's winning the award this year.
I ain't gonna do nothing.
You think this is the best division of football, though? I'm saying, like I said, it's right near the top. I think it's probably second. You think it's better than the AFC East?
Top to bottom, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think we're good.
Yeah, top to bottom because you got the Raiders over there. If the Raiders,
no, the AFC East, AFC East.
Talking Bills, Miami, Jets, and Patriots. I don't
close.
think we'll do very well this year. I think we're under 500 team, and I think each one of these teams can go over 500. So I don't.
No, I think it's close. I would probably give a little bit of edge to the AFC East, but it's very close. It's between the two for sure.
Definitely not with the Patriots there.
I mean, you can talk popular shit. You're a Colts fan, but I mean,
and the Colts going to win a game this year.
I mean,
we're in rebuild mode though. We're good.
Tanking for Caleb. Tanking for Caleb.
You got Anthony Richardson. You can't take for Caleb.
We're taking for something. I don't know what we're taking.
Although, I would say though, if the way people are,
I love Anthony Richardson.
The way people are feel about Caleb Williams, I think if you do end up with the number 1 picks and Richardson shows nothing this year, I think you.
I mean, we can trade. I think
you maybe trade Caleb, but we'll see. We're talking about other divisions and stuff and about the crappy Colts and stuff. So, which I don't hate on I don't actually hate the Colts.
Right. Nobody hates the Colts. You can't hate the Colts. They haven't done anything.
All right. I just thought of this. This is on the fly because we got like 5 minutes left. I'm going to play your favorite.
Time to play the game.
Button, I should say.
Time to play the game.
All right. Basic fantasy football lineup is quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex, defense, kicker. We're going to make a fantasy football lineup out of just the AFC North. I'm going to go through each person and you give me the quarterback that you want. Quarterback.
Burrow.
Who would you want?
Jackson.
Me personally, I'll take Jackson for the legs and what he give you on the ground.
Not Watson?
Our running back one. Who would you take?
Lamar Jackson.
Chubb. I think
No, yeah, it's probably Chubb. It's Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
I was just thinking for a second, like, yeah,
running
Chubb.
back two. Who would you want to take?
Najee.
Yeah, I was thinking Najee. Not Najee or Nixon, probably. But yeah, I'll go Najee too.
Najee.
Does JK catch it? I can't think right now.
I mean, he can. I mean, he's not.
My thing with JK is just his health.
You got to show me. You got to show me
Yeah,
before
it's
I'm
just
like,
his health.
before I put him ahead of Mixon and Najee.
I'm gonna go Mixon. I think Mixon can get it done. I think he can catch a few. Wide receiver one, Chase.
Yeah.
Chase. Wide receiver two, Amari. You got Amari.
Nah, I'll take
Higgins.
T. Higgins.
Higgins.
I'll take T. Higgins.
Higgins might be too.
I
Right?
take Amari.
I'll
Me
take T.
personally.
Higgins.
With Watson back, I think Amari has a chance to have a big year this year. But I still think
Who
I'd
had
probably
better
take.
numbers last year? Let's see. Who had better numbers last
Why
year?
you look that up? Tight end. Which one you taking?
Higgins went for 74 and 1029. And who am I comparing with? Oh, and Cooper went for 78 and 1160 and 9. So Cooper had the better year last year.
74. Yeah.
Slightly better, but it was close. But I mean, again, it's close between those two.
Tight end.
Andrews.
I'm taking Joku. Defense.
Steelers.
I'm going Ravens.
I'm with you, brother. Oh no, Cleveland defense is gonna be monster too with Myles Garrett defense, and then you got TJ. Oh my god,
Baltimore's always got a good fan. Their defense always racks it up in fantasy
Right, yeah.
too. So
They're ball hawks over there, man.
oh my god.
you all right?
It's hard, bro. Who can get me interceptions, sacks? Miles Garrett gets sacked. I'm going Steelers because I like Highsmith. I like Watt.
Cameron Hayward.
In the
come
middle.
on now. TJ Watt and Michael Fitzpatrick. Man, they got that defense is nasty. Bro.
Kicker, Justin Tucker.
Evan McPherson.
Hey, you're not wrong. I feel like Tucker, if you got the points
In Pedro's scoring system, I'm taking Tucker.
Yeah, I'm taking Tucker. I'm taking Tucker.
He don't
in my
miss.
League. Yeah,
He
I'm
don't
taking
miss.
Tucker in my league. They had a stat the other day. Who would, if your life was on the line, would you take Steph Curry to make a free throw or Justin Tucker to make a 40-yarder?
It's close. I mean, that's really close. What's?
I'm going Curry.
I think Curry's percentage by percentage points is a little bit higher.
Are we playing in the dome? Are we outside? There's a lot of factors.
I don't know. My life is in line. I don't know, man.
A lot can go wrong with missing a field goal. You know what I mean? You know, they're both 90%. So I'm gonna go Curry shooting a free throw. I think.
Yeah, Curry don't shot. I know 1,000,000 free throws. I mean, Tucker probably kicked over 100,000 balls in this day, but I most definitely take the Curry thing. But in my opinion, I think this is the best division in football. You said AFC East.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, it's close. I'm not gonna sit here and be like you're wrong. You know, like that's not gonna happen. They're right there.
We're halfway done, guys. This is number 4 of the division. We got 4 more to go. We got AFC East, NFC East left, and we got AFC West and NFC West left.
What are we doing next week? West or East?
You can do it. You choose. You're on the spot. Which one?
I don't know. I mean, let's do the West and we'll do the East last because we know we'll have. In case we go a little bit over on the.
I mean, the NFC East is weak. It's very top heavy.
It's very top heavy.
But
It's the weakest division.
I kind of believe it.
It's-
It's definitely the AFC South.
Two of the top three teams in the NFC in that division.
Or
So
AFC South.
Nah, AFC South is the weakest division for sure.
I think it's close between there and in the NFC South too.
I
But the
think
AFC South is the worst.
AFC South.
NFC West is pretty weak
I mean,
too.
It is. It's gotten weaker, but it's not as bad as those two, though. I don't think so.
NFC South is just it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
It's very mediocre.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And the Bucks might be, and like we said, I think the Bucks could be very bad this year.
Oh, I think they're horrible.
They could be really bad. So.
who has a better record, Bucks or the Colts?
Same.
Push, yeah. Well, based on my picks, the Colts actually, I think the Colts are better.
Okay,
by a
who's the
little
worst team? Bucks, Colts, Arizona.
bit. Cardinals.
Arizona.
I like
The
it.
funny thing is they have a quarterback making $50 million
Yeah.
a year too, which is just a shame.
And he's playing a lot of Call of Duty.
Very true.
Where's he going to end up next year if somebody would take that contract?
That's very true. We've done AFC South, AFC South, and we've done NFC North, and now we just done AFC North. So if you get a chance, if you enjoy this pod, go back and check out the previous ones. Subscribe. Like,
subscribe.
We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. I'm working on the new. Google has a podcast, and Amazon has one too. So I got to get all my ducks in a row and get them on there and get it started. Other than that, you already know positivity, how we ended. It's so much just ran through my head at one time. But end of the day, you always got to do what you love to do. I understand sometimes you got to follow your dreams. You got to work a 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be. Do what you got to do to get to your dreams. Life is short. I've been saying this and that for years, and then I procrastinate because life come at you fast sometimes, and things change overnight. We all know that for a fact that one day you might be doing this and another day you might be doing that, and it be out of your control. One thing you can control is what you do with your life. So put yourself in position to be great and do what you follow in your dream to do, because before you know, you look up and be 50 or 40 or whatever, however old you are at the moment.
What's wrong with 40?
Ain't nothing wrong. I'm knocking on the door soon. So, but just follow your dreams, guys, and do what you got to do to get there. A lot of people give you this, this is my opinion, false statement of just go at your dream. No, sometimes you got to go get that 9 to 5. Sometimes you got to go flip that burger to get you some money to get to your dreams. It take money to make money out here, and that's a big fact for sure. And I know that for a fact. So do what you got to do and get you some friends in high places and touch people and talk to people and learn from people that going where you're trying to get to. And once you get there, don't be a dickhead and not help the people that's trying to get there. That's one thing I've learned, period, in life. Like, people get a certain stature in life and forget where they come from. And don't be that person. That's like one of the worst people in the world to me. But that was a little longer than expected. Dro, you already know you're back. We're going to try to catch you on the rest of these episodes, hopefully. So far, we finish up the division. Look out for the fantasy football prediction pod. We got to give you another baseball pod somewhere in here because it's ramping up. We're getting closer and closer week by week. What else I'm missing? College football. I'm a big college football. Y'all college football guys?
I like college football.
Yeah. So I got to give you one of those to talk about some All-Americans. I got some guys that I know personally on that Georgia team that I need to talk about. But am I missing anything before we get out of here?
I think you covered it all.
Yeah, I think you got it all, man. I appreciate you having me back on the podcast. And like you said, guys, please subscribe. You know, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, like the video. So please show some love and subscribe, like, and keep on supporting.
Right on, G-Money.
Yeah, subscribe. And like Pedro said, it's not hard. You just got to click a button, like us, follow, tell your friends.
Yeah, man. We can't do it without you guys. Click on it. You'll click on a celebrity post before you click on somebody that you possibly even know. So that's kind of crazy to me. Come on, man.
True.
But you already know, man. Be humble, live humble, stay humble. And I'm always thankful and grateful that you listen to the LK Sport Podcast.